Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Burner here. The DRF Bets race of the day for Wednesday, January the 31st, race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. And if you sign up for DRF Bets, a $200 free bet is waiting for you. No deposit required. All you have to do is go to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at this field of fillies and mares going a two-turn, about 7.5 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park turf course. You can head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, download your free Formulator past performances, and handicap along with us as we take this field in post-position order. Matt, the number 1 Vendetta, I thought ran quite well last time out in the Claiming Crown Tiara, despite being a bit overmatched on paper at 100-1.
Yeah, she was 100-1. I think it's no denying that she's the horse that faced the best horses last time out. You see what most of these other girls have been facing recently, pale in comparison to the field that she ran into. Martini Glass next out, earned a 90 Buyers, second place finisher Peru in 84. We saw Starship Jubilee win a stakes race not too long ago with a 92. So she's certainly facing better horses. My problem with her is she feels like she's an all or nothing. She's won 6 times from 26 lifetime starts, never finished out anything else, second or third. So to me, she would probably be one I'd either use on top or not at all.
She has shown some speed in the past, recently more of a mid-pack stalking style. Where do you think she'll be with this short run to the first turn and a good inside post?
I don't think there are any real burners in this race, so I would hope that down on the inside, use that one post to your advantage, try to get some sort of a nice sort of stalking just in behind the pace trip, and then try to work something out.
The number 2, Follow No One, has been away for 7 months, and that kind of a layoff is usually worrisome, but her trainer, Horatio De Paz, has been very hot lately. As we take a look at our formulator fact for the number 2, Follow No One, for the past 30 days, he's 5 for 11 with a $3.41 ROI. Now, dirt to turf has not really been this barn specialty. The layoff is worrisome. I think we'll see this horse closer to the pace, just fresh and can be forward.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this horse overall from a surface standpoint, because it seems like she took a step forward in those 2 dirt races. Now, you got to admit that those 2 dirt races came over wet racetracks, so maybe that's what moved her up. But her turf form last year, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't fast, and she's going to need to take a big step forward if she's going to be competitive.
Winner of the most recent turf race way back in March of 2017, at least came back to be stakes placed during next start with an improved 88 Buyer speed figure. The 3 is My Sister Sledge, who scratched over the weekend to await this easier spot for Michael Trombetta. There are things to like here. A second start of the form cycle, and this is a filly with a very tactical gear.
Yeah, she's a little bit tactical. I think the big thing that I'm interested in, that most recent run, I'm going to call it a very peculiar ride from Paco Lopez, because this horse was in behind the leaders throughout, and he didn't ask her to run one step. Now, maybe it was a matter of he knew that she wasn't running and there was nothing there, but it still makes me kind of wonder what was going on there, because if she had anything, she could easily run in the top 4, top 5. Maybe she didn't have anything. I think this is an interesting spot, and I think second off the bench, she should be ready to go to move forward.
What do you think about the 7.5? She was a stakes winner at 9 furlongs, 2 starts back at Laurel, and she kind of needed the whole stretch to get there.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit of a concern. This distance is probably a little bit shorter than ideal for her, but it's still one of those instances where if she works out a trip, she fits, she's not far off from a speed figure standpoint, and at the end of the day, she should be a decent number.
Great veteran Edgar Prado takes the mount. The 4 is Island Reward, and as we see from our Timeform US pace projector, we're expecting Island Reward to be out there on the lead. And she has that kind of speed, but I'm not really sure those are the kind of tactics that we're going to use here. I think the key here is they were going to want to really conserve her energy, because I think 7.5 at this point in her career is pressing it just a little bit.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I was really disappointed in that most recent run. I know she has the highest last out Buyer in the field with an 85, but she had all the momentum and she offered no kick down the lane. To me, at a relatively short price, she might ultimately go off as the favorite in here. I don't want any part of her.
Runner-up from that last race came back to run 3rd in the Sunshine Millions filly and mare turf with an 88 Buyer speed figure. The 5 is Noble Ready. As we see from the Timeform US pace projector, we're expecting Noble Ready to be running from the back of the pack. She was close in a slow-paced race last time out at Gulfstream West. It was not the strongest field in the world, but her trainer, Christophe Clement, does well with these kind of horses, as evidenced by this formulator fact. Over the past 3 years, with older last-out winners coming off of a moderate-sized layoff. We usually don't like to see sharp horses go to the bench, but Clement does well, 30% to 280 ROI.
She's another one that's had a little bit of an interesting career, to me anyway, thus far. Early on, he threw her to the Wolves, threw her into all these stakes races, and then she really flopped at Suffolk Downs in Boston, and then those 2 starts after that, it felt like confidence builders, getting it back, but then all of a sudden she's gone for all these months. Like you say, the formulator fact at least allays some of the fears, but it's just been interesting to see what her career has been thus far.
Number 6 is Dawn of the Destroyer. This is a filly that showed some ability, especially over wet main tracks over the summer at Saratoga. The form has gone south in her 2 starts off the layoff. Kieran McLaughlin's going to try turf here. There's a little bit of turf pedigree.
A little bit of turf pedigree. I think for me it's more of a concern about Kieran McLaughlin with this move. Particular past 4 years, first time turf at Gulfstream. He's 1 for 26 with a 28-cent ROI. This doesn't seem like this is the kind of move that he makes, and you're going to have to hope that the turf move just wakes his horse up immensely, because her past 2 races haven't been good.
She's a half to a horse named Bronze Star, a multiple stakes winner on the dirt, also stakes placed on turf. The sire Speightstown, 13%, a good stallion with first-time turf runners. The 7 is Burner Diva. Burner Diva's making her second start of the form cycle for Bill Mott. She was in the slightly faster division of the Oaks on December the 30th. She was really eager in the early portion of the race, went to the front. Really just couldn't step with those horses late. I think they're going to want to take her back and get her settled. I think a different riding style from Javier.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I kind of feel like, as far as the pace projector is concerned, I don't think the 4 is the one that goes to the lead. I think the 2 does off the layoff for DePaz. And if that's the case, then I think Burner Diva, you try to work out that kind of stalking, pressing just off of the flank kind of trip, because we know on her best day she can certainly win this race. Co-highest last out figure with an 85. I think she moves forward, and I think she's arguably the horse to beat.
Not sure what we're going to get from the number 8, It's My Pleasure, who has been away since December of 2016. She was sharp when she went to the layoff. Now she's with trainer Ralph Nix. I'd advise everybody to watch the Welsh workout report on DRF.com as we get closer to the race.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get. This is going to be the longest distance off of the longest layoff in her career. Your guess is as good as mine.
Salmody, the 9, completes the field for trainer Todd Pletcher. What a surprise. This horse really fired at Gulfstream, even off of a 6-month layoff last time out. But she had a really nice trip that day to win, stalking in the 2-path. A little bit of a tougher outside post position here in this 7.5 furlong race. But just look at Pletcher's numbers. It's hard to throw him out, especially at 8-1 on the line on a sharp filly.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. I mean, I have to be honest. That field that she beat that day pales in comparison to what she's going to face here. She's facing just a world of different animal. She had a perfect trip, but at the same time, my goodness, at this point, throw out Todd at your own risk.
Really competitive group in Wednesday's race of the day, race number 9. Let's take a look at our top selections in here. Matt's going to go with the 3, My Sister Sled. Just some different riding tactics this time you're hoping for.
Yeah, well, and who knows? Again, I'm saying that maybe there was nothing there. Maybe she didn't have anything to offer. I just think second off the bench for Trombetta, I think she can certainly take a step forward, and she should be a very playable price.
8-1 on the morning line. You'd take that,
Absolutely.
I think. What about multis? Anyone else you'd use?
I mean, I think the 7, Burner Diva, I think she's the horse to beat in here. I don't really have much faith in the 4. I think she's a nice horse. I would use her underneath only. Todd, I mean, look, do you really want to get beat by a Pletcher horse that could ultimately pay north of $10? I think I'd probably use her defensively, but for me, mostly 3-7.
Agree with you about using the 4 underneath in single race exotics, using Todd defensively. I think I would use Dawn the Destroyer a little bit in multiple race wagers. Just thinking she's faced some better horses on the dirt, and some of those recent workouts look interesting on the turf leading up to this race for Kieran. I'm going to go against like a rule. I don't like to play Bernardinis on turf. We talk about that all the time. But at least the 7 Burner Diva has proven form, and I think we'll see her from just off of the pace, as you alluded to. 7-2 for me is a little bit light. I might take it, however, if I can't get 4-1. I'll go 7-4-6-9. Matt's going 3-7-4-9 in our DRF bets race of the day. And again, if you sign up to DRF bets, you'll access a $200 free bet with no deposit required when you go to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for race number 9 at Gulfstream on Wednesday is 4:37 Eastern. Good luck.